Well, good afternoon, everyone. I am Rashonda Williams with Collective Impact, and we're here for another Impact News, which is your weekly dose for nonprofit grants and social impact trends. But before we get into all of that, I would just like to take a moment and just give honor to the legacy and the life of Dr. Martin Luther King as we celebrate all his contributions to the civil rights movement and that is still being built upon today, right? This is a federal holiday, and here we are celebrating his life and legacy. And not only his life and legacy, but everyone attached to him that helped to make that come to fruition today. So I pray that we don't just, post quotes today on our platforms, but it inspires us to live a life of service, to walk in our convictions, to connect with people with those same convictions and beliefs so that we can change the world. So, that in itself is collective impact in its essence, right? We can do wonderful things when we all get together and focus on the greater good. And Dr. Martin Luther King showed us that, and I pray we go out and do the same. So, yes, that felt good. It felt good in my spirit, y'all. So, again, I'm Rashonda Williams with Collective Impact. And that's pretty much what we do. We help nonprofits led by people of color overcome barriers that are preventing them from impacting the world, connecting with people with the same beliefs, creating jobs, and leaving a legacy. So we're going to get right into it today, y'all. Got some goodies today. I say that all the time, but I'm always so excited to share this information with you all because I know that you all are doing great things. And with our research, we know the top three barriers for nonprofits led by people of color is access to funding, um, getting a solid board and volunteer base, right? And also project management, time management, because most of our leaders also work a full time job, right? And they can't find volunteers or a reliable board, but we'll get into that more later. So they're doing a lot of it themselves, right? So everything that we bring on these impact news is centered around those three barriers, right? So, our first thing we're going to go into is grant reminders very, very quickly because 30 minutes, y'all. I've been doing good. The Caplan Foundation, if your nonprofit organization serves babies from infancy to what is it, 7 years old, in the areas of physical and mental health, safety, nutrition, education, play. This is the grant opportunity for you. The information will be in the show notes and or comments for you to apply for that. The deadline for the Kaplan Foundation for Early Childhood Development is coming up January 30th. So that information will be available for you all. And then also last week we talked about the Minority Business Development Agency, the MBDA, the Capital Readiness Program. The deadline for that will be, February 28th. We talked about the requirements for that. February 28th. You have to register on sam.gov and grants.gov. This is a federal opportunity. So get your unique entity identifier, register at SAMS, all free accounts on grants.gov and sam.gov for that information. And then also they are doing pre-webinars for everyone interested in this program. And the next one is tomorrow and is application review criteria. So this is major. Definitely want to register for that. And then the link to register for the pre webinars will be in the show notes and comments. I don't know why I feel like I gotta keep saying that. Y'all know where they're gonna be at. And if you have any questions, you can put them in the comments. So the application review is tomorrow, 2 p.m. Eastern. The website to register, you can register for now the second and the third. Again, this opportunity closes February 28th. So the Minority Business Development Agency, this is part of the SSBCI, according to the 2021 American Rescue Act. So in essence, it's just providing capital to minority owned businesses. Now for this capital readiness program, it's for nonprofits and for profits, sole proprietors. If your organization, or for profit, your organization, they're all businesses, right? But we're not going to get into that. If they serve minority communities, underrepresented communities, um, women, minority, I mean, underrepresented communities, right? And if you're helping them with entrepreneurial um, tools to build capacity, attract and provide access to capital and a network so that they can do what they do well, pretty much being a grassroots MBDA, right? That's pretty much what it is. And if you're for profit or nonprofit falls in that category, you definitely want to register for the pre webinars and then do all the things so that you can apply for this. It's over $93 million available. And when I was reading the press release, they were thinking of saying that it can be up to $3 million per grantee. So very, very major. Um, I am going to hold a very, very small group for an application walkthrough slash mastermind. We had a couple people type interested in the comments. So I'm going to close out that opportunity on the 20th. So if your organization, for profit or nonprofit, falls in the category what I said, helping entrepreneurs get access to capital, build capacity, you serve underrepresented communities, then type interested in the comments and I will reach out to you personally and give you the information and the dates when we are going to do this application walkthrough. This opportunity is right in our lane. Obviously, we are here weekly, giving you guys access to capital. We serve underserved communities, nonprofits led by people of color. We have access to a network, which is the collective. So that's what we do. So we're definitely applying for this opportunity. So, being that we're going to apply for this opportunity, I wanted to invite a couple people into like a mastermind and we can just walk through it and talk it out, and this is why this is why we selected this is what we're going to say, this is why we fall into this category. So definitely willing to do that. I'm going to take 5 individuals because I feel like that's what I have the capacity to help. And so just type interested in the comments and I will reach out to you with more details on when that's going to be. It's going to be quick. So if you're serious about this, you ready to get to work, we all going to get this money. Listen, in the name of Jesus, we got to claim it. And I'm super excited to meet you guys too. Um, as well. So, if this blessing you, if you like what we do, if you need access to those 3 areas, if you um, those 3 areas that I mentioned earlier, reliable volunteers and board, access to funding, and just time management, just overwhelmed because there's so many moving parts running a nonprofit. Then subscribe to our newsletter. All of our content is centered around those 3 barriers, and we would love to serve you so that you can serve your community better. That's what we do. Um, so grant alerts. Let's get to it. Let me remove this out of here. Being that we are celebrating the life and legacy and the contributions of Dr. Martin Luther King today, there is a grand alert for the Coretta Scott King Book Awards. This is presented by the American Library Association. So, if your organization serves children and you want to expand your library, the resources and the books that you provide to the youth, this is in kind donation opportunity. The deadline to apply for this is January 31st. They are going to reward books to nonprofit organizations that serve the youth. So if you want to expand your library, great opportunity to do that with the Coretta Scott King book donations. Information will be in the show notes and the comments. Really quickly, with in kind donation, just remember that say you get 300 books, right? 300 books, 10 different titles, right? So you want to note that on your organization financial statements as well. So how you would do that is that could just go on Amazon and just like, okay, look at the price of this book, right? You get the price and you see that you have 100 of those books, and then that monetary amount is added on your financial statements. I am not a CPA, but we do have one in our network, and she is amazing. So if you want and are looking for that, follow us on Instagram. We post about the members of the collective all the time and their contact information. And I've said it on a lot of our Impact News as well at the end, and you can watch those replays on YouTube at Collective Impact. All right. So the next opportunity is the Emergent Fund. This is for organizations that work in the social justice arena, right? Justice movements. This is for nonprofits led by people of color, BIPOC, and it's up to $30,000. So this is really cool because the applications are accepted on a rolling basis. You will know if you get access to the funding within 4 to 5 weeks. You have to be a 501c3 or C4 status. That's like the Jack and Jills and the NAACPs. Um, or if you are a fiscal sponsor, if you have a fiscal sponsor for your organization, that is BIPOC, right? And they accept proposals through a platform, called Just Fund Us. And in most cases, you have a 48-hour approval. So, to apply for the Emergent Fund, the information will be in the show notes and the comments. Um, Another grant opportunity is from the American Fundraising Foundation. It's called the uh, Golden Golden Pear Grants. Golden Pear Grants, there are many grants for 501c3 organizations. They also have a really cool fundraising travel program. So, if you want to give donors an incentive to donating to your organization, they're great. They have a great travel program as well. So I saw like a trip to Greece on their website. They have an awesome fundraising platform as well. So if you want to diversify like your um, funding portfolio for your nonprofit organization, this could be a win-win situation. For Giving Tuesday, we did an interview with our big brother, well, y'all big brother. He's my friend, Lamar Chambly with Teens of Color Abroad, and he talked about um, how they were able to raise over $30,000 this year during Giving Tuesday. And one of the things was they were auctioning off an Airbnb. So that's a awesome opportunity for your organization to increase your fundraising funds, right? Your revenue. Grants are great, but you definitely want to diversify your funding portfolio so that your organization sustains, right? We don't want to just be dependent on grants because, yes, there are a lot of opportunities going on right now, but like, how long will that be, right? And also, if you apply for a grant, doesn't necessarily mean that you will get it. And if that keeps happening to you, we also have Dr. Beverly Browning in the collective, our network, and she teaches a lot of courses and gives workshops on board governance and grant writing. She's gotten over $750 million for state, federal, local churches, all the organizations. You definitely want to learn from her or someone on your team can attend one of her workshops. All of these, any training that you do for any business, it is always, deducted off of your business taxes. In this case, 990s. So definitely invest in your organization so that you can win these grants, make more impact, and leave a legacy. So again, go to our website and subscribe to our newsletter to learn more about the collective. Also, our YouTube channel at Collective Impact to watch our previous Impact News. Like I was talking about the interview with Lamar Chambly and all of our interviews with leaders of color who are doing amazing things in their community. And they give great tips and advice. All right. So let's go to community spotlight. Yeah. So I would like to highlight and wish a happy birthday to Tim. I know he's probably blushing right now, like, no, she didn't. He didn't even know that I did this. But happy birthday, Tim. You are such a blessing to collective impact. And as we were talking about, celebrating the life and legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King, he had great people in his community, right? Because we can't do these things alone. We need awesome, 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 awesome people in our community that bring different gifts to the table and they're all for the greater good, right? So Tim is definitely that for collective impact. Y'all listen, when I tell y'all I prayed for Tim and he came and he is an answered prayer, I am not just saying that. I knew that I was overwhelmed. I couldn't do it all myself. And I prayed about it. And listen, he sent Tim. So happy birthday, sir. Will y'all please join me in wishing him a happy birthday and drop it in the chats. Happy birthday, Tim, y'all. Let's just love on him. He does a lot of this research that we share with you all. He's be killing it on the social media. Anyone in the collective or anyone we invited to the collective, y'all know he be following up with y'all. Cause listen, this when I say he is my right hand man, he is my right hand man. It's so much, so many moving parts. And I once heard, I think it was Charles Metcalf that said, purpose is not a solo gig, right? So if you're doing great things, can you imagine if Dr. Martin Luther King was just the only person doing, I mean, really, do you think that what would have happened in the civil rights movement and then reshaping America if he was doing it by himself? Absolutely not. So celebrate the people around you and be open to having people help you. And it's okay. It is okay. Listen, talking about COVID, like everything, like when I was out with COVID and, just, serving in the military, everything. Tim holds down the fort, and I'm so grateful for him. So happy birthday, sir. I pray this year is just filled with blessings and just God just shows out because you are such a blessing to others, sir. So listen, Tim is the man. I pray every nonprofit leader and every person in a leadership position, I pray that you have a Tim. Tim is so teachable. He's so just a man of excellence. Everything that he does is of excellence. And so you guys are probably wondering like how did we connect with Tim? Because Tim is in Nigeria, right? So he's super virtual, right? And part of being in a leadership position is like being able to be like, you know what, I need help. And it's literally, I say I'm gonna write a book about this whole coming together of collective impact because it was nothing but God. And um, one day it just dropped in my spirit, like, you need an intern. And I was like, yes, I do need an intern. Listen, no later did that thought leave my mind. I was on Microsoft Word typing up a description for a social media intern, right? So we have to partner with it as well. We can't just wait for God to just do because He can and He will, but we also got to put some skin in the game too. But I'm not gonna start preaching. But so wrote up that job description and then um a coach of mine in an area marketing coach that I had at the time had told me about this platform called Acadium. Now, this is a Canadian based company and they do marketing apprenticeships. So you can get certified in marketing through this platform called Acadium. So she told me about this. Shout out to Sabina with Inspire You Apps. See again, community, y'all. I'm trying to tell you. And she told me about that. And so I got on there, had already had the job description typed up, bulleted. I still have it. I think I share it with people too. When I'm like, girl, I already got the job description. You can just customize it. Like I send it out as a template. And so got on Acadium and there was Tim. Tim was there. And that was August of 2021. Now, just going to show you that anyone who's a part of the collective, I've either worked with them directly or indirectly, right? So, working with Tim during that time, I was like, soon as his apprenticeship was over, I was like, sir, you part of collective impact now. Like, I don't know what you thought you was gonna do, but we need you because you're awesome, amazing in everything that he does, right? And so that's how Tim and I connected was through this. But in that, it was from me being in a place like an accepting place like you can't do this all by yourself, girl. You what? Mm-mm. So I say all of that to tell you guys that Acadium is available to you all too. And I understand that, because again, one of the barriers for nonprofits led by people of color is finding reliable people to volunteer to work. Because some of you aren't at a place yet where you can pay staff, so it's all volunteer, right? And then there's some internal things, like relational intelligence. We talked about that book a couple weeks ago by Dr. Darius Daniels, some things that we need to know and work in on ourselves. So if that's a place that you feel like maybe, and I hear, I've had clients say that too, like, I'm just not a leader. Yes, you are. Everybody's a leader. God gave us dominion to rule and dominate. Everybody's a leader in our own way, right? Sometimes you just have to change what that looks like for you. But anyway, um, Acadium. I forgot what I was going on because maybe I was supposed to finish that rant. But if you feel like you're not a leader and that's an area that you need help with, of course, we have a nonprofit leadership development course, a grouping um, program. You can find that on our website. 60 days, awesome. We incorporate on demand and then weekly coaching sessions. That's available as well. Or if you want to just get your feet in there and start it, which ain't nothing wrong with that. I mean, you started a nonprofit organization. So I feel like you'd be fine in that area. You can go on Acadium. So what's great about Acadium is um, that information, everything is regulated through Acadium, right? Because the apprentices, they need to finish, they have certain requirements that they need to do to get their certification, right? So weekly, you can add your task in their platform of what needs to be done. And then it could kind of train you on how to be a leader as well, like on the job training. It's really, really cool because weekly you get to rate your apprentice and your apprentice can rate you as well. So it's a great opportunity to learn, to lead, and just, what to look for in a staff. Now, very, very blessed. So found Tim on Acadium, Donna D. She did our social impact guide design last year, and she's also an awesome content marketer as well. Lindsay, she was doing our blogs for a long time, phenomenal writer. Jimmy, he was a video editor. He did our leaders of color, video editing. So anything marketing, if you need help in that area of marketing, I highly recommend Acadium. The link will be in the show notes and or comments. Another great platform to find reliable people is Volunteer Match. I love their tagline. It's matching inspired people with inspired causes, right? So if you need um, whatever area that is, um, board members, LinkedIn is also a wonderful source for finding reliable people who match up with your cause and are inspired to help your specific organization. So there are platforms out there that can help you find individuals. And now we live in this digital space. Part of why, Collective Impact has a national imprint is because of social impact, LinkedIn specifically. Um, and Max agrees. That's my dog, Max. I know he sounds scary, but he's not. He's a big blob of he's a lab, but his bark sounds really, really intimidating. But um, volunteer match, LinkedIn. We talked about LinkedIn for nonprofits a couple weeks ago as well. That's for like learning different aspects of running a nonprofit, like board governance, fundraising, all the things needed so that you can impact your community and leave a lasting legacy because that's what it's for, right? That's why we do what we do, the vision that God has given you. And vision is not a solo thing. Like if you can do it yourself, then it's not big enough, right? So yes, volunteer match in Acadium. If you guys have any questions about that, please drop them in the chat. I've used both. I do not come on here and tell you guys about any platforms or anybody in the collective without having worked with them personally myself, because you got to protect your brand and your reputation. So everyone who's connected to the collective, love God, love people, and love social impact. And that is what we present to you, right? All right. So last thing, I gotta go fast because I'm at 28 minutes. Y'all forgive me. So events, another ways to learn. There are so many different summits going on. The Nonprofit Marketing Summit, which I attended last year and it was awesome. This is a virtual event. It is February 28th to March 2nd. There's like over 60 sessions, amazing individuals from different sectors to train you on marketing, fundraising, board governance, all the things. And that's how much we care about y'all just getting it. You don't have to get it from Collective Impact. We might not be your cup of tea, right? But the information is there. So the link to register for the Nonprofit Marketing Summit, which will be February 28th to March 2nd, and best believe that we will be in there in the comments all the time. I won a book last year. It is The Tech That Comes Next. I moved the book because I have a pile of books for my goal is read a book a month. So I moved it. But so I won a book from the last time, and it was really, really awesome. They give great resources, just like what we do, right? Um, as well. So the link to register for that is you can register for free, but you can also upgrade to the VIP session, which means you get access to different sessions, and that's for 197. The link will be in the show notes and comments. And the last one, another again, the three barriers that our audience, our community of nonprofits struggle in is finding reliable board members, staff, volunteers, all the things, right? Access to funding. So we talked about money. We talked about how you can find awesome volunteers, staff, and boards. And then also, the last one is time management, project management. So there is an awesome webinar that's free, focused on, it's held by TechSoup. So a few weeks ago, we talked about TechSoup, right, for getting software and then access to hardware, in kind donations, or really, really discounted prices, right? TechSoup is a wonderful, wonderful resource for nonprofits for software and hardware. They're having a webinar, Marketing Your Mission, app demos for nonprofits with TechSoup. So, project management, a lot of that is you can automate a lot of things with software. Um, if anyone has ever scheduled a nonprofit consultation with us, like, just know that we're not emailing you those reminders. We're not doing that. That is all automated, right? It's an automated service. So there are great things that you can do with technology. And speaking of which, I forgot to say this when I was shouting out Tim. I got all in my feelings. Tim wrote a wonderful blog last week. It is the Prepare for the Future of Giving. And in that blog, there are a lot of trends for 2023 for nonprofits, and it's talking about technology. So you definitely want to check that out. The link will be in the comments. And, just give them a birthday read. You will not be disappointed. Listen. So technology is a great way to automate it. And yes, it is time consuming, but once you set it up, it's there forever, right? And we also have a package where we can set up your administrative services for you. And that will be on our website. But I definitely highly recommend this Marketing Your Mission. They're going to demo Constant Contact. What was the other one? Fundraising platforms. Like, if you're in the market for some software, definitely register for this app demo with TechSoup. So the information will be in the show notes and the comments. So that's a wrap, y'all. I pray y'all all have a wonderful, wonderful week. Again, let's give Tim some birthday love in the comments. Tim, you're amazing. Couldn't do this without you. You are an answered prayer. Follow us on Instagram for more content like this, and or subscribe to our newsletter. And Lord willing, we will be back next week with more trends and grant alerts and all the things to help our network, our community of nonprofits impact their communities and leave a legacy. So until next time, God bless y'all and goodbye.